I'm moving to Florida. Hey guys, so today is a really weird but fun video. I'm going to be talking about how my experience was on the waitlist for the Disney Cultural Exchange programme. So I initially applied to the Disney Cultural Exchange programme through Yummy Jobs in, I think it was September. September 2019 I applied. I remember sitting at home and I was just scrolling on my Instagram feed and the post came up and it said applications are now open, and for the rest of that evening I was applying. I had been quite a bit extremely prepped because I had watched a lot of videos and researched a lot about the programme to see what I needed for my application and what I needed to get myself there and just about the programme overall. So before I even applied, I already had my cover letter written out, I had my CV set and ready to go, and I took a photo of myself because you need a small photo for Disney to look at, so they can it's basically for when you go for your interview, they can put your photo next to your CV so they know who they're talking to. However, for this I had already previously took a photo on my nice camera in my garden because it was a nice sunny day and I was like, perfect, I'll take it against my brown fence. It's a plain background, perfect. However, when it came to uploading the photo, it said they wanted it on a white background or a bright background. So I had to retake this on one of my white walls. My photo was then took on an iPhone and it didn't matter. It's literally just for them to check you are who you are. So when you come to the interview, they're like, yep, that's Laura, that's what the photo she sent in, that's who she is. However, something my dad pointed out when I was about to upload my original photo was, it's all about following the rules and doing what they've said. So if I had uploaded the photo with the darker background, would they have accepted me? Because straight away I can't follow their rules or what they wanted. So I do recommend taking it on a bright background. However, this could change, but I doubt it. So I did all that, and then however many weeks passed and I heard that I got a first interview and I was very surprised. So the first interview was a group interview. There was 7 of us in our group, however it could vary from 6 to 8. So this was at Yummy Jobs head office, and they did a bake sale. They were raising money. I can't for the life of me remember what charity it was, but I remember they did a bake sale, and from videos I'd watched they did it the year before as well. I travelled down from Liverpool and I brought cakes. However, this does not affect your application whatsoever. I know people who didn't bring cakes and they got there. It's just a gesture of goodwill. So I made loads of Mickey Mouse cookies because I have a cutter, and I made loads of them, and my mum made some Rice Krispie cakes. We just like baking anyway, we just bake a cake every week, so it was just something to do for us. So don't feel pressured into making something, you really don't have to. So my interview, I can't remember, it was the second day of interviews, so I was on the second day. It was pretty sure it was a Tuesday, could be wrong, but I got lucky because basically I found out after I applied that the week of interviews was also the week I was flying out to Disneyland Paris. So I was sat there fingers crossed hoping my interview wouldn't be put on the day I was flying out to Disneyland Paris. It wasn't, it was the day before, so I got very lucky. So for my interview, it was very nice. My interview was with Aaron. He doesn't work at Yummy Jobs anymore, but he was very nice. And it was the 7 of us, and we had to get into pairs, but because there was 7, I was in a group of 3, and we had to exchange information. So basically we had to say our names, where we're from, and a food like a childhood snack we used to love. And before I went for my interview, I I'd searched up, oh I can't for the life of me think what it's called, Disney's mission statement. Disney, a lot of companies have a mission statement that they bring out every year, and Disney's was creating magic through storytelling. So I had that on my brain on my brain for like all of it. So I was just like, if I'm gonna say something, I'm gonna have to have a good story to go with it, because if that's Disney's mission statement, they obviously want that. So I decided to go with the story of, well, for the snacks I went with fruit winders, and I chose that snack because I remember I always used to take my nan and we always used to walk. The furthest shop away from hers was the only shop that sold fruit winders. It's a nice story because I thought my nan used to go out of her way to like walk me up there, and it was the fact I just wanted that one snack. So it was a nice little story that I thought everyone would appreciate instead of just saying, oh I like fruit winders. It just adds a bit more to yourself, so that when the interviewer is looking at your stuff, they're like, oh that's nice, I didn't realise that about Laura, I didn't realise that. It just shows you can create a story, which is obviously what Disney wants. So we did that, and then we all had to like say back everyone else's snack, and then we just got asked a selection of like scenario questions. So again, we were in our groups, and one group got asked what would you do if a family of 4 had been queuing up for Mount Everest all day, it was their last day and they had to leave at a certain time but then the ride broke. What would you do to make their experience better than what it was? They then decided to come up with a story to tell the kids as to why the ride broke instead of just saying it broke. They said the Yeti had gone missing, and they gave them like free merch, and what else was it? Oh, try to get them a fast pass. I'm pretty certain the one my group got was Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, and it was something to do with it was like that's what it was the family were about to leave the park and they wanted to do it, but you couldn't do it basically you only had a short amount of time than what you would have had to create this thing for the princess. So how would you make their experience still full whilst rushing essentially? And we came up with the story that we had to get them dressed and ready quick so we couldn't leave the prince waiting. So we came up with that story that we had to get them dressed and ready quick because the prince was waiting at the castle and we couldn't keep the prince waiting, and that seemed to go down well, so that was good. I can't for the life of me remember what the other group was, like what their thing was, but it was just a bunch of random scenario questions and you had to just come up with a magical story and like how would you handle that situation. We then got asked why we wanted to do the programme, and everyone, basically I was quite lucky in this scenario because I only started loving Disney in 2017 because that was when I went to Florida for the first time. I'd been to Disneyland Paris before, but I never really appreciated Disney that much. So in 2017 I went to Florida, and I'd heard of like a lot of people how like amazing it was and how it was a once in a lifetime experience, so I knew I had to like live it up to the full. So then I basically got completely immersed. That's a different story for a different video. They all basically said, oh I grew up loving Disney. I think like all of us, we all grew up loving Disney, and then like my sister did it in the past, so like I really like I've had an affinity for Disney for so long or whatnot. And then it got to me and I was like, this is brilliant, because everyone said they all love Disney since they were children, so my story's going to be completely different. And I just went, well, unlike everybody else, I only started loving Disney in 2017. I knew how much of a big experience it was to go to Florida because I'd heard other family and friends talking about it. So I completely immersed myself into Disney culture. I watched top 10 videos, I watched behind the scenes secret videos, and I became obsessed. And then at that point I went to a deep dive about Epcot, and I think my emotion was really evident because I'm very much emotionally attached to Epcot, and I got really into it. And I know for a fact the interviewer liked that because at the end he was like, wow, like I love your enthusiasm. That he said, I love your enthusiasm. So I was like, okay, fab. I can't for the life of me remember the rest of the questions. If I remember them, I'll just put them on the blank screen here. myself from the beginning. If I don't get through to the second round of interviews, I'm hard on myself because I made it through to the first ones, and that'll be it. However, I think it was November, I got to go to my second interview, and I was like, I'm going to the Disney head office. Disney's head office in London. I couldn't quite believe that, and this was when it all started getting pretty real, because I was like, okay, because I'm pretty sure from applications they accept about 50% of applications. I could be wrong, I could be pulling this number from who knows where, but then I know for the second one interviews I'm sure it's only like 25%. It gets a lot less each time, so I was like very proud that I made it to the second round interviews. I can't remember what day my interview was on, but basically I had a lot of hassle this day because and this is when I started getting a bit stressed. So I rang Yummy Jobs and I was like, hi, I'm meant to have an interview today at 2 o'clock. However, because of a broken down train, I'm unable to leave Lime Street. What is your best suggestion to do? I'm fairly certain I spoke to Natalie, and Natalie was lovely. She basically just said, if you can make it down today, I'll book you in on the last appointment. That was 4 o'clock, I think. It was either 4 or 5 o'clock. And if you can't make it down, just ring us up again and we'll move to a different day this week. Brilliant. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Just not making a big deal out of it. Just let me know. It's fine, as long as you can reschedule with me. So I hung up, and my mum was then looking at train prices for the rest of the week. They were far too much money, but we were going to do it anyway. Anyways, at this point I'm pretty sure the train, it was at the like 11 o'clock one now. It's been 2 hours and we eventually started moving. And if that doesn't prove things, like miracles happen, then I don't know what does. So we got into London and I literally just about made my 2 o'clock appointment. And when I got there, Sally was there and she was like, oh yeah, you were on the phone. So I rang them up again saying, hi, look, the train's moved, I think I'll be able to make it today. So like, is it alright if I still try and turn up for my 2 o'clock? And they're like, yeah, fine, perfect. So that was it. Sally was like, oh, you're the one who was on the phone? Oh, you made it, great. So in that group, I literally just about made it. Like, there's 2 entrances to their headquarters. I went to the wrong one. I think everyone went to the wrong entrance first. And then when I made it to the second one, I literally got my lanyard on and saw that they were getting escorted up the stairs. I literally pegged it and made the group. We went up in an elevator, and when we got there we just sat around, and there was like loads of little, like, it must have been like their breakout space or like their like just chill area. So we all had to give our passports and proof of student status forms to Sally, because Sally was there this time, not Natalie, to check that they were all okay. I had some issues with my proof of student status because basically my uni is tiny. It's very small and it doesn't have a stamp, and they want you to have a stamp for your proof of student status. So I had to then I'd already emailed Yummy Jobs a while before this about this situation, and they just said get the tutors to sign another sheet or sign where it would be stamped saying no stamp available, and then just sign the name. I then sent this off to Yummy Jobs after the interview because that's what Sally told me to do, and then I uploaded it to Docs. This was accepted, so if your uni doesn't have a stamp, do not worry, there are ways around it. And the people who had stamps and theirs got rejected and mine didn't, so don't worry about that. I was last into the interview, however there was like no set way of figuring out if you're going to be first or last. I just assumed I was going to be last because, and then eventually I was took into my interview. Again, I can't remember what the interviewer was called, but she was lovely. She was so nice. And again, with their statement in mind, the first question I got asked that interview was, how did you hear about the programme? Now, when I look back on it, I'm like, should I just answered with a 1 sentence? Would that have been better? I don't know. However, I went with the mission statement, that's what it's called. I went with the mission statement and decided to create magic through storytelling. So I once again told the story of how the first time I fell in love in Disney was 2017, and I became so obsessed with the park, so by the time we got there, I was the one leading my parents and my brother around, even though my parents had been there twice before. And I was like a little tour guide, and I knew all the little spots to find and everything. So I told that whole story. Whether or not she wanted to hear that, different, completely different thing, but that's what she got to hear. I'm pretty certain I got asked about, I got asked like simple one answer questions. So would I be able to handle the heat? Yeah. Was I right handling heavy objects? Yeah. I then got asked about, I think it was living away from home or living with people. I answered with, yeah, that's fine. When I'm at home anyway, a lot of my family aren't in all the time, so I'm used to just looking after myself. That's something to bear in mind. I've seen on so many videos of like people who've done the Disney Culture Exchange program that they've spent like 4 months in Africa, or like 3 months in America, or like 5 months in Australia. I have literally never left home apart from this, so do not worry about that. Like, that was one of the things that made me really worry, because I never moved out into student accommodation, and I've never done these big extravagant things before Disney. So if you haven't done that, don't worry. Like, honestly, it's fine. You will, like, you're not going to be judged for that. Like, Disney just want to see your enthusiasm. That's what's most important to them. So yeah, I got asked that. I then got asked about my top roles, and I said attractions, and I think I said character attendant, even though, not attendant, sorry, character performer. You know, I think I should have said Caesar. I think that was a mistake I made. However, it doesn't really matter. Like, I just then brought in my minimal work experience to them roles. So I'm a videographer, even though I want to be an editor. So I'm used to going up to people and having to ask them if they don't mind being on camera. And to do that, you have to like start conversations. So I recently did the Netball World Cup in Liverpool, and me and a group of people, we had to feel comfortable going up to people and asking them questions about the netball. So I attached this to Disney saying I'm comfortable going up to people and like starting conversations about things. So I would feel comfortable going up to like a family and be like, oh wow, are you excited to be here? Oh, it's amazing. Oh, it's your first time. Oh, you'll have to do this, this, this and this. Like, I'm comfortable outwardly doing that. So I brought that experience in. And I'd also brought my experience in from working as a waiter. So I was good at like asking if everything was alright with the food, and just basically checking up on guests and making accommodations for them. So I think that was a positive work experience I had. And then at the very end, she was like, is there anything else? Oh, I got asked why I wanted to do the cultural exchange, like excluding Disney from the question. And I said that I want to move to America into the future, so it'd be a brilliant chance to like experience that. However, Disney is a big part of that. I can't just remove Disney from that, because having Disney on my CV as someone who wants to go into the media will transform my entire life. Having that on my CV will put me miles ahead of other people. Like, I couldn't remove Disney from that. Like, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for Disney. And even though that wasn't the initial question she asked, I think she was very happy with that response. And then at the end, she asked if I had anything else I wanted to say, and I basically just said, oh, I like finding all like the little hidden Mickeys in the park. I like finding like weird information about things and like learning different like aspects of the park that no one else really thinks of. So she then recommended me a hidden Mickey book, which I ordered. So yeah, that was the end of the interview. It all went very well. And then just like that, I was done. That was my 2 interviews. we'd find out by the end of January. The first round of acceptances went out in December. I didn't get one. I was very disheartened. It hurt a lot because I can't just like things in a chill way. I very much hyperfixate on stuff and I have to like it 110% or I don't like it at all. It's just weird. I can't just be chill about things. So this hurt. It hurt a lot because I was like, alright, what do I do now? Because if I'd been rejected after the first round of interviews, I could have just carried on liking Disney. But I'd gone too far now and I felt like I couldn't enjoy Disney if I didn't get accepted. Like the two were just hand in hand now and I couldn't separate the two. So I got depressed. It wasn't nice at all. And then I was like, right, okay, when do we find out about waitlist? Because I didn't get rejected, I got waitlisted. That's the important thing here. However, it felt the same to me. So I was on the waitlist and someone in our group got emailed during jobs when we'd find out about basically when we'd get off the waitlist, and they said end of January, which was like, okay, fab. End of January came, I think it was first week of February, second round of acceptances happened. I still didn't get picked. My mental health just got worse and worse. It was getting, I basically didn't feel like I could be myself because I couldn't enjoy Disney. Every time I listened to a Disney song or I put on like a Disney top or looked at my Disney merch, I just felt like crying, and it got silly. Like I was like crying over absolutely anything. It was affecting my day-to-day life. I didn't feel motivated to get up and go to uni. I didn't feel motivated to get up and do work. It was difficult. Anyway, at this point I was like, there's only no more acceptances, that's it. End of February, third round of acceptances. I still didn't get picked. At this point I had looked into the Universal programme, I had looked into things to do after I finished uni, because I had put so much on this Disney programme I didn't even realise. I had put my entire future on this programme, and without it I didn't know what I was doing with my life. Because when I really sat down to think about it, I joined my uni through clearing, and the reason I joined uni, to do the Disney programme. When I really think about it, that's the reason I joined uni. So this was really messing with me, like majorly. It was not a nice time, and at this point I just accepted I wasn't getting on the programme. That was it. Anyway, I'd given up completely. I'd stopped checking my emails, I had muted all the chats, pretty much left all the chats, and I was just ready to try and pick up the pieces and start again and just find the next right thing. Anyway, it was, what date was it, should we say? I should know this, but I don't. It was Friday the 6th of March. I was at my friend's all day, I was having a fab time. I came home, it was about 11:30, I was that bored, I was like, you know what, I'll just check my emails, I might have had an email off uni, you don't know. And literally I'm sat on the couch and I have my phone and I just go, and then my mum's like, what's going on? And I'm still sat there like, and then my dad goes, what's happening here? And I go, I'm going to Disney. And my mum goes, get lost. Did I say that right? You're going to Florida? And then my brother comes in and he's like, you're going to Florida? And I was like, yeah. Started bawling. We all sat around, basically had a big group hug, which was very nice, it was very cute. And then I just cried all night. I didn't get myself off that wait list and just battled through the lowest of the lows, because honestly it's crazy the fact that since I've been accepted my mental health is just spiked. I'm so happy, I feel like I can be myself again, I can enjoy life, like I feel like there's things in my future that I can control again now. And honestly, like, I just felt so elated once I found out I was getting on the programme. However, it is important to note, was it actually worth it? Yes, to be accepted. Honestly, waiting it through to be accepted was amazing, but if I hadn't been accepted, I'd still be feeling very low and down and depressed. And that was a 50-50. Basically, don't do what I did and put absolutely everything in your future on this one programme. It's not healthy. It's not a healthy thing to do at all. You need the separation between Disney itself and Disney the programme, because it's just going to ruin things for you. Please, if you take anything from this video, just separate the two and don't put so much on it. I'm very lucky in the sense that I got accepted. I was one of the very last few to be accepted. An important thing to note is I didn't get one of my top roles. I got quick service food and beverage, which I am very happy about because I'm just getting to go to Disney. However, I did put that as no interest, because you get given a list of things when you get to go to your second interview, and you get to like basically put high interest, mid interest, low interest or no interest. And I was adamant from the start, I'm not going to Florida if I'm not doing attractions, seating or character performer. If it's not one of those two things, I'm not doing it. I'm not paying that much to go to Florida. You learn over the 3 months that you'll do anything to go to Florida. So I think if they'd offered me custodial or anything, I would have just took it. Like, there was absolutely, just don't be fussy. That's another thing. 2 things to take in this video. Don't get too attached to the programme, and don't be fussy. Like, honestly, like, if Disney means the world to you, just do anything. Like, my mindset was, I don't want to go over to Florida and pay so much money to do things I can just do over here. You're not going to be able to just do it over here though, are you? You're getting free access into the parks. You're going to be a Disney cast member. Just don't be big-headed like I was. Like, I think that's the reason I didn't get through the first round of acceptances, because I was too fussy. And I was convinced that if Disney really wants me, they'll give me the role I want. At the end of the day, Disney don't care if they accept you or if they accept the person next to you. You can have the same level of enthusiasm and they might be like, alright, these are the people we want, but she's fussy and she isn't, so we're going to accept her because she's not fussy. So be open to anything. I do recommend still not putting everything a high interest. Put the ones you really want a high, but then maybe put the ones you're not as interested in as low interest. Just don't do what I did and put no interest, because that's a stupid move. That's a dumbass move. Don't do that. So, this video is very long and my camera is about to die, so I'll probably do a part 2, but that's my journey so far on the Disney Cultural Exchange programme. I'm sorry if it's very confusing and if I talk too fast. I'm getting used to this. But yeah, in my next video I'll cover how it was like to catch up with everybody else in terms of insurance and DBS checks and accommodation and whatnot. But yeah, this is the first of many, hopefully, DCP videos. About the mountain, Mount Everest. I've been calling it Mount Everest this entire time. It's Expedition Everest. Fake fan.